Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech, and I've been doing some videos on how users can properly store their cryptocurrency and be the manager of their own funds rather than relying on a centralized exchange. Well, the team over at Keystone sent me over their Pro Wallet, and I want to take a look at it with you today. So there's a number of things in these boxes that we're going to go over and then take a look at the setup process. In this first box, we got a Phillips head screwdriver and what they call their tablet. For easy recovery, BIP 39, it's waterproof, fireproof, everything. It's very hefty. The metal is very fine quality. It is a bit cumbersome, like the twists, as you can see there. But I mean, this thing is beefy, guys. This thing is super beefy. They even have below the main box all the different letters that you would use or set up for your wallet so you can remember your seed phrases, because it's always good to have control of your keys and your seed phrases so you can restore your wallet if need be. In the next box, we actually have, I believe, is the battery pack. Get some more additional information, a little pamphlet. Nope, this is the actual device itself. So this is the size of the device. About a little bit smaller than my handheld, basically the size of a cell phone. There's an LCD screen on the front. On the back side here, we have a camera for a QR code and then a fingerprint reader. Also looks like there's a micro SD slot right there. And then this pack is a little bit bulky, but they do give you two options. One, you could either power it with 4 AAA batteries, or in the other box, there is a 3.7 watt hour battery. So let me go ahead and open that one up as well. And then we'll take a look at this device. So it looks like we get a USB Type-C as well as that battery I was referring to. I already charged it. So we get to slot that in. It is magnetic. So we'll get to slot that in. It just grabs right on. Easily pull it off. Put it back on. And then there you go. Looks like you would have to just take off this battery pack in order to charge it, right? Because the charging cable's on the top. There's a light once it's fully charged. And that's pretty much it. So now with the smaller battery pack, it's slim. It's form-fitting. It's basically the size of a cell phone, maybe a little bit bigger. Here's the power button right there. So let's go ahead and power this thing on, because we're obviously going to need to set it up and back up our seed phrases, which is where the tablet comes in. And I got to put all my various letters in there to make sure that we store our funds safely and securely with this hardware wallet. So obviously the first part was to choose your language. I already clicked English and next. Next is welcome to Keystone. Gives us additional information on how we can link it. Please open the following link using your PC. This is the get started guide or the help guide. So we're going ahead and pull that up. And so this web page is basically some of the legal information, just warning you that you fully understand that your recovery seed phrase, if lost, you could lose your crypto asset. So you're just checking that. I'm fully aware that writing down and storing my own recovery seed phrase, which we should be familiar with if you properly store your crypto, is my responsibility. Taking photos, storing it on your computer that you keep all your wallets on, that you go to nefarious websites, is a hazard. The risk involved, so on and so forth. So read through some of the legal information. I'm not going to go through all the detail, and click next. And it's basically the walkthrough guide. Again, how to charge the battery, how to, what kind of brand AAA batteries it takes, or how many it takes for, and then just walks you through the setup process. Now, switching back over here, we can go ahead and just click I'm ready, start. And now additional information. So web authentication, click on scan QR code button below and scan the QR code displayed on the website. So it's going to walk you through this on the actual website itself. So next, it's going to bring up a scan QR code. It's scanning it right now. 34%, 50% done. Pretty dang quick. All right, and we authenticated. There we go. Now we can set a password. You can't see it, obviously, but I can see it on my device. There's some of the password requirements, so make sure it's something strong. Don't make it something easy, please. Be smart. And it's actually got some pretty nice force feedback on this device. It kind of reminds me of one of the older Android like UIs as well. Very interesting. So now there's a firmware update. I'm going to go ahead and run this update. It does have some requirements. For example, we need a micro SD with FAT32 format. Maximum memory capacity of 512 gigabyte is required. and a minimum of 70% battery charge is required. So I need to source that, and we'll continue with the rest. Only because I had this laying around because I do a lot of 4K content. I have a 512 gig micro SD card. You don't need all that. 512 is the max the device can support. You could just get a regular micro SD card, 64, whatever it might be, just to install the firmware, get everything up to date. Now, to update the firmware on step 4, it gives it to you right here. You got multi-coin or Bitcoin only. You download the one you want. We're going to choose multi-coin. Here's the zip file. And now we got to use our micro SD reader to copy that over to this micro SD and then boot back up the Keystone Pro. Obviously, you need to extract the files. So we're just going to go ahead and extract all to our downloads folder. There it is. And we need to copy this zip folder. It says it right here. Unzip the downloaded package. Copy the update.zip file to the root directory of your micro SD card, which is exactly what we need to do. So we need to copy that, and we're going to put it on the actual SD card itself. There is an important note here, and it says, please note, should not be unzipped. So the update.zip should not be unzipped. It should be placed in the root directory. Make sure that the micro SD is FAT32. And if you have any troubles with the firmware update, please contact support at keyst.1, basically, but basically Keystone. So let's go to our PC, look for that micro USB. There's the root directory, paste. Now we can inject it, usually in the bottom right hand corner of your PC. There you go, ejected. Just in case you're unaware, the micro SD, the top side facing the back of the device, and you gotta push in ever so carefully. It will actually lock just like any other device that you use a micro SD, like a Nintendo Switch or whatnot. And now we can boot this up and continue on. So this is going to take a minute to update the firmware. I'm just going to go ahead and let this ride. Your original password that you set up if you were going through this process before inserting the SSD will be asked. And if you get it wrong 4 times, you will be locked out of your device. So do not forget that password you initially set up. But we'll be able to move on to the next step, which is to either import or create wallet. The update should look like this. And then you just hit update now. You can see the SHA-256. And we put in our password and let the update process. The tablet only has room for 4 letters. And the reason that is as you type in the letters, when you have to confirm your recovery phrase, which is super important to you, make sure you're in the utmost privacy, nobody's looming over your shoulder or anything like that, is as you type it in, it pops up the recommended word. If you go to a certain point, it will automatically fill the word for you, and then you can confirm your recovery phrase and move on to the next step, which is finalization, right? Congratulations. You're all set. Now you could choose your companion software to sync up, and the companion software is actually really nice, right? We got MetaMask, Kepler, Safe, BitKeep, Soulflare, Subwallet, so many different things. You could choose to do it later, but I'm going to go ahead and choose the Keystone companion app as well as MetaMask. And this device, even though it feels old school and like it's an old school Android OS, it still gets everything done. The only gripe I have is the keys of my fingers are really hard to hit, on smaller Android type devices. But it can be adjusted to. So here, now that I chose the Keystone companion app, I have all the various cryptocurrencies, and I can just go through the list and choose what I want to, basically add. And I can select the network, like Litecoin, Polkadot, so on and so forth. Hit the check mark, and then we are good to go. But Binance Smart Chain is a big one. Obviously, Ethereum's a big one, and Bitcoin's a big one. So I'm going to select those options, go back, add MetaMask, and go from there. So when adding MetaMask or a Soulflare, you're going to get provided a QR code where you obviously need to scan so you can connect your wallets, whether it's MetaMask or whatever Web3 application. But in the settings, we got a number of things here, right? So we can change our password if we need to, passphrase, wallet, fingerprint status. We could set a pattern lock. We can create and import other wallets. We can make sure we got our recovery phrase backed up. We can wipe the device. And then in system settings, what I want to do is I want to see if we can, screen timeout length. Right now it's on 30 seconds, but I want to do a lot longer than that. So we're gonna do let's do 2 minutes for now. You don't want to leave it on too long. The vibrate or the force feedback is on. You can turn that off if you don't like it. I do. And then obviously you could adjust the screen brightness, the language, and format the SD card that's in here. There's a security manual, and then you can see the firmware version down there. So I'm going to set up the fingerprint settings and then the pattern lock. And that's all under settings. You'll be able to manage your assets under my assets, and then you can connect additional wallets with Connect Software Wallet. And that brings up all the other options. There's much more besides MetaMask and stuff in here, just FYI. But, Sushi Swap, Urine Finance, Zapper, Rabby, Sender Wallet, so on and so forth. But this device, that is the setup of the Keystone Pro. The wallet feels pretty good to me. It is a smaller Android device, so I do have a problem with the size of my fingers hitting the wrong keys. I've entered my password wrong a couple times and had to make sure that I hit every correct keystroke, so that's a bit of a problem. Another thing is the price of it. The cheapest one you could get is the Keystone Essential. It's $120, whereas the Keystone Pro is actually $170, obviously including tax, stuff like that. This feels like a very premium device, especially with the tablet that you get. And you can get replacement tablets. They've got the regular tablet, and I think this is called the Tablet Plus. Yeah, this is a Tablet Plus, and this feels very premium. It could, survive the elements, so to speak. And this feels like I would, if I had a substantial amount of wealth that I wanted to leave for my family, I could always leave this in a secure location or a security box. And so if something were to happen to me, my will would describe all the steps, and then they can get this and then go and recover the wallet, gain access to it, and do what they need to. It feels like a premium product, but there's some items on it, like the screen and the OS, that doesn't feel very premium, but it does get the job done as far as managing assets. The fact that you have a fingerprint reader, you can scan QR codes with it, so you can connect to Web3, DeFi, DEXs, whatever. But the price is a little bit up there. And, like the Ledger Stacks is also very pricey. This hardware wallet would be more on the premium side versus the Ledger Nano S or maybe the Trezor or what have you. But there's no price that one can put on not only privacy or their privacy, but their financial security. In crypto, especially if you have a lot of assets, you don't need to be keeping on an exchange. You want to move it to a hardware wallet that you own the private keys to, that you have the recovery seed phrase backed up. And that kind of puts you at a peace of mind. You can sleep easier knowing that if XYZ exchange goes down, your funds are still your funds. You have access. You can go ahead and liquidate wherever you want, buy, sell, trade. And the Keystone Pro does add that peace of mind because it is a hardware wallet. This is the top one. The side channel attacks can be avoided because it has a self-destruct mechanism, as I mentioned before. I'll link it down in the description. But you let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of this wallet? I know it's up there on price. My hands have a hard time with this particular device, or the way the keyboard's laid out with the old school. I forgot what OS it reminds me of, or Android OS, but it can be a little bit of a problem if you have big hands or big fingers like me. But let me know your thoughts down below. Do me a favor though, on the way out, hit the like button, make sure to get subscribed, hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out some additional links that help support the channel and what we do here. I'll include a link to where you can go and order the Keystone Pro or a Keystone wallet or products if you are interested, down in the description. Besides that, you have a wonderful day. Take care. I'll catch you next one.